Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The New World. And in today's video, we take a dive into the future of LeBron James after his longtime agent Rich Paul announced that Bron will potentially move on from the Los Angeles Lakers if the team were to have another disappointing season this year, as Bron is still competing for championships. This, of course, shocked basketball fans, and now since the statement has been made, it is time to discuss the potential movement of King James to another team. But before we do that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and help us on the road to 10K subs. Hit that like button if you enjoy the content, and make sure to share this video as well. And comment where you think LeBron will move to if the Lakers fall short of a finals push once again. And if you haven't checked out our recent videos where we discussed the potential reign of the Oklahoma City Thunder after winning their first ring under the SGA era, and check out our vid discussing how great this new Houston Rockets squad will be after acquiring future Hall of Famer Kevin Durant. Now fellas, what were your thoughts on Rich Paul putting out the statement of LeBron's future, and do you think with the addition of the top 3 2018 big man pick DeAndre Ayton to their roster, will the Lakers make a finals push this upcoming season?
No. They're not making no damn final push. Let's unpack a few things, fellas. So let's start with LeBron James. I think Jay, he brought up that LeBron James is still trying to compete for a champion. He clearly ain't trying to compete for no damn championship. I think he's made that evident. See, I'm one of those people, what you're telling me verbally doesn't mean anything. We all know that Rich Paul is one of the most PC niggas in history. You can't listen to anything he says. He doesn't believe a word that he says. It's all PR. So when he says that LeBron is still trying to compete for championships, okay, but you're opting into a contract. Like, bro, do people not understand? He exercised his player option by opting into a $52.63 million option, which means you are harpooning your current team, Los Angeles Lakers, from acquiring more pieces. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to do some type of sign and trade, then the team that you're going to go to is going to have to mortgage assets in order to bring you on because of all of the money that you're making. So when LeBron James is saying that he wants to compete for championships, your decisions, the moves that you're making don't suggest that. They don't. Because if LeBron James really wanted to compete for a championship, what he would do, I thought he was a fucking billionaire. I guess he's not. What you would do is you would take less. You would opt out of your current deal, put yourself on the market. And of course, since he is a 40-year-old individual, people are not going to give him the max. But if you really want to win a championship, take less. Take less. If we just scan the landscape of all the NBA players, LeBron James by far has the highest net worth. So if you got the highest net worth and you're a billionaire, you got all these businesses, take less, dog. Because I'm not trying to count pockets, but when guys say they want to win championships, your actions are not suggesting that you want to win a championship. Because now everybody's going to Rob Pelinka. They're like, why are the Lakers stagnant? The Lakers are stagnant because they really can't do a whole lot. There's not a whole lot that they can really do right now because LeBron James, his decision is affecting the team in terms of winning now. So what they're looking at it is and I've been continuing to hear that is that because LeBron James is handicapping the team. I've continued to hear that the Lakers are viewing LeBron James as an expiring contract, meaning that this is his last year. And his decisions, what he's doing, in my opinion, is setting up for this to be his last season in the NBA because it just doesn't make any sense. You're not trying to win. So basically this year for you is a wash because what does Bron typically do? Bron typically opts out, signs a 2-year deal with an option after the first. He didn't do that this time. He decided to opt in, which is something that he's never done. Never done. In 23 seasons, he's never done this. So, maybe I'm projecting because I want this to be his last year because I'm tired of seeing his tired ass. But he's doing things that are unprecedented. Unprecedented situation for him to opt into his deal. So those are my takeaways. Do I think that this team can win a champ? Absolutely fucking not. Because I don't think that with LeBron James as your second best player, that is the result of a championship winning team. Now, if LeBron James is going to play less minutes, and the talent around them is going to be integral into a finals run, I would get that. But then again, let's look at the roster. The roster isn't good enough. This roster is not good enough. It's not comprised with enough young talent like the Oklahoma Cities of the world, like the Indiana Pacers of the world. Those are the teams that are going to be making deep playoff runs because why? The best ability is availability. You have to be able to get through the season. LeBron James is old. Lately, as he's gotten older, he's been less available. Luka Doncic, niggas want to talk about skinny Luka all they want, but past few seasons he hasn't been as available as he used to be, and his health is not going to improve. They're an older team. They're bringing on DeAndre Ayton, so this is not a team that has depth to it. So by the time they get to the postseason, if they get that far and everybody is healthy, are they going to be able to win 16 games? It's the first to 16. Indiana Pacers can do that because yes, Tyrese Halliburton is the star of the team, but they got so many other assets on that team. They got Pascal Siakam, they got Nembhard, they got Nesmith, they got Mathurin, they got all of these pieces. OKC don't even have to go through those teams. What are the teams that had limitations? New York Knicks, because they're only playing 6 guys. So you need depth on your roster. Being top heavy is not going to win a championship. If LeBron James were to humble himself and just forgo that huge insatiable ego, then maybe, yes, they would have been able, Rob Pelinka would have had some more cards to deal. But he doesn't. And then niggas want to blame him. I'm just so sick and tired of the fucking Rich Paul PR. It really is annoying because you're just like, bro, just say that your guy wanted to make as much money as possible. He wants to maximize on his earning potential. He's not a billionaire. Those Los Angeles, those California taxes are hitting his ass. He doesn't have as much money as niggas say he has. It's evident. Because if you were a billionaire and you're playing basketball, and you're 40 and you want to win another championship because you're still chasing Michael Jordan, take less. Just take less. It really isn't that hard. Jalen Brunson went over there and took less to New York. New York taxes are crazy. He went and took less. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to take all the money. Like, you really don't. And I'm not knocking anybody that wants to take all the money, but then don't tell me you want to win. That is my biggest takeaway with all of these situations when we start talking about finances, because in my opinion, offseason is still the most entertaining aspect of basketball right now, outside of like the actual games. So when we talk about the contracts, I get really amped about that because I really get to see what niggas' motives are. When a guy is going to take the supermax and not save any for his teammates, especially when they're trying to get to a championship level. Like Oklahoma City, I think I said this in the SGA video. If I was shaved, I would have told him to take a little bit off the table just because I want to be able to make sure I can get J-Dub his bag and Chet his bag. He decided not to do that. Cool, but currently constructed, that's an extension which is not going to be coming to play until the next few seasons. So they still can make something happen. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. But the Los Angeles Lakers are in a different predicament. Oklahoma City just won a championship. Lakers have not. They're trying to win right now. And they don't have enough currently. So if you don't have enough currently, then guys need to sacrifice their ego so that we can have some more money to operate with. And because LeBron James refused to do that, he's handicapped the Los Angeles Lakers. So in my opinion, if he is going to continue to play, this is his last season with the Lakers. I think that he understands that, the team understands that, because they're not talking to him about any moves that they're making. And he probably is looking at it because he's a petty individual. He's like, well, if y'all aren't going to involve me in talks, then I'm going to, go about the best interest of me. That's fair. That's cool. But stop saying you want to win, bro, because you clearly don't want to win. LeBron James is not getting traded. He's not going to get traded. So let's stop the talk about trades because no deal works. He has a no trade clause. So that means that he has to be happy about the trade. The team he's going to has to be happy about the trade. And the Lakers have to be happy about the trade. It doesn't work because with him making 52 M's, you're going to be mortgaging a lot of assets in order to bring him onto your team. And he's 40. Like, this is not LeBron from 2018. Adding him to his roster doesn't guarantee you're going to make it to the finals. But he can do whatever he wants to do. But once again, same thing with the Giannis situation, Damian Lillard, all of these guys. Stop telling me how much you want to fucking win. You don't want to win. You want to stack up your paper. You want to do your podcast. You want to be on all of these shows and tell everybody how great you are. But in the same breath, you want to talk about championships don't matter, but you want to win, but you're the GOAT, but you're chasing Jordan. Like, can this nigga make up his mind? He sound like a female. Make up your mind on what you really want to do. Because you're going back and forth. You're being so wishy-washy. Bro, just tell us what you want, bro. Tell us what you want and let it be. Can this be your last season? Can this be your last season? Please. Like, we just need to kind of get to the end of this era. Because it's honestly dragging. The LeBron James era is dragging. There's better basketball out there to watch, ladies and gentlemen. We saw that on full display throughout this postseason. Once the Lakers got bounced out in the first round, we actually got good basketball. Niggas don't want to acknowledge that, but that's what we got. So can we just surpass this era and move on to some shit that's actually entertaining? Because his antics and his childish feminine behavior is annoying. It really is. Because he's just making everything about himself.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna take definitely a different perspective. I think it's clear LeBron James doesn't really know what he wants to do. Now, I'm not gonna lie. For how good this brother is, deadass, this nigga can play like 5 more years. Like if we're being honest, on like a physical skill level, like dude can play for legitimately 5 more seasons. Like he's been that good. He's still athletic, still chasing down niggas shits. So it's like I think the part where he's struggling on mentally is how long before basically shits come off from averaging like 15 points per game. I'm barely even a starter. I don't think LeBron James would play that long. I think he definitely could if he looked at it from a different perspective. But I think he's looking at it from the perspective of he realizes, bro, like I really only got like 1 to 2 more years dead ass in the league. Max, I'll give it is 3. Max, I see him lasting 3 more seasons in the NBA. There's not much he has to give to the NBA. I don't think. Like he's pretty much been here for like 20. If he stays for like 3 more seasons, he'll be here for like 25. So LeBron James has basically been in the league for a quarter of a decade at that point, and he's played against. I think LeBron James actually played against like 1/3 of the NBA players of all time. It's some crazy shit like that. So really the brother's confused, and when they interviewed Bronny, and Bronny was like, hey, I don't really worry about that stuff. That's when I kind of really knew that LeBron doesn't really know what he wants to do. He doesn't know if he wants to retire or not, because you just look at how well these guys are playing. Like the people they're not even from LeBron generation, because like they don't play basketball no more. But people from like years out of them, like Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, Steph Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, all these guys are still NBA caliber players. Now Russell Westbrook and CP3, they're definitely on the end of it, but them other guys, they can play. They can still play in the league, and I think that's kind of where that whole side is struggling on. Like the whole LeBron's, Steph, and KD is just like these guys. They still kind of want to compete, but they also realize that they're not that stage or that level anymore of like caliber play. Like these guys are not in their prime anymore. They're not like top 5 players in the leagues anymore, but they're still like top 15, top 10 players in the league. So it's like they're still elite. They still have their own team, but the team goes nowhere. So I kind of look at this from a standpoint of the Los Angeles Lakers have kind of come to grips with the fact that this is Luka Doncic's team. LeBron James, he's almost expendable because you really only got him for like a 1 to 2 year rental. Like he's not going to stay there any longer. The team physically constructed is not constructed like well enough to win the championship. They have 4 guys in their offense that can't really play defense. Like Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton. I don't really know how that shit's going to work in the playoffs, if they make the playoffs. Definitely have a talented roster on paper, but looking at it, I feel like these teams in the playoffs, they abuse like weak defenders so much that it'll hinder them like it did last year. And with guys like Jackson Hayes signing, 1-year deal, I kind of do want to talk about this. Jackson Hayes, it just came out that he signed a 1-year like extension deal with a no trade clause, and I thought that was hilarious. It's like Jackson Hayes, I don't think he's really good like that. And JJ Redick doesn't like him, but like for some reason JJ Redick didn't play last year in the playoffs, where it was clear, like, they need a big, like he didn't even really need to do anything on offense besides be a lob threat, and JJ Redick still wasn't playing him when Rudy Gobert had like 27 points and like 24 rebounds in the closeout game. So the LA Lakers are definitely confused, and like if you look at management, they're definitely so. These guys, they're just in a poor state, basketball wise, financially wise, everywhere. Like the whole Bus family, no clue what they're doing, no clue what they're doing, and this whole Luka Doncic fat situation, and he's skinny now. Like how long is that shit gonna last? Like, you feel me? Like, that shit may last this year, and next season he's back to drinking beers, having a beer belly. So, like, what is really going to happen with this LA Lakers roster? I'm definitely curious to see. The podcast, we're going to be on alert next season when DeAndre Ayton makes his debut on the Los Angeles Lakers. It's going to be the funniest thing ever to see how this shit goes, because LA fans were mad happy when they got DA, but like everybody knows, we saw what he did in Phoenix in 22 and 23. He quit on the team. They lost, and then he goes to Portland, basically rots out for like 2 years, doesn't really do shit. And we know DA has a low motor. Like, this guy's the number 1 overall pick. Fun fact: LeBron James actually played with, I think, 9 or 10 first overall picks, which is like crazy. Like, nobody else has played with that many. But DA has came in the league with a lot of talent, and the brother is still talented, but he just doesn't have it mentally. The soft allegations are still there. I always see that clip. I think it was when they was playing against the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, and he like he's not helping to rebound. Kevin Durant, honestly, like 220, and he's like 6'10", 220. He's battling with like Nikola Jokic, who's like bordering on 300 pounds for a rebound. DeAndre Ayton's just looking, and it's like, just imagine the whole season of this shit. Like, hopefully his motor's better, but the LA Lakers is just screwed. And these guys, their coach let them down last season. This was another component that people don't even like mention up, but goddamn, JJ Redick fucking cost them last year in the series because it's like his ego. First of all, the closeout game, the whole locker room had bad energy because JJ Redick, we saw what he did in the post game. No, the pregame. Right before the game, the interviews, it's like, that coach is low IQ. The coach can't control himself in a high pressure situation. So if that coach can't do that, what makes you think the team can do that? The team can't do that. And with LeBron James, he's not going to be a leader on the team really anymore because he's not going to be playing on the team no more. So that job is going to be up to Luka Doncic. So Luka Doncic, he's going to have that role and that mentality. I still don't know what they're going to do with Austin Reeves. I think I heard he wants a bigger contract than what they give him. I think they were trying to give him like a 4-year, $90 million deal or something like that. But Austin Reeves definitely can command more money on a different team. So if I was Austin Reeves, I'd try to go to a different team. Maybe one of those bad teams like Chicago, where you're like the 10th seed, but he can average 25 points up there. So that's just where I look at it. I'm aside to Jay if he has any more comments on the
Yeah, man, this whole Lakers situation going on, LeBron James, it's not much of a surprise to me, honestly. I figured that LeBron James will have these thoughts going on, especially after what happened last season. This Lakers team, they haven't been built to win ever since getting rid of AD. They really weren't built to win since having AD because, it's one thing we know. When LeBron James is on the team, LeBron James is still technically the first option on the team until he's gone. So we clearly saw that with AD, even though, JJ Redick made it clear that the offense was running through AD. That didn't last long. And even though, Luka puts up his usual numbers, we clearly see that, LeBron James makes sure he has those touches as he is a ball dominant player. But, this move picking up DeAndre Ayton, it's definitely way better than having Jackson Hayes as your center because, Jackson Hayes, I mean, his height is just a waste, honestly, because you can't be that tall, that athletic. And you know what I'm saying? First of all, you letting Rudy Gobert just make you look trash. Like, you can't look that bad. Like, first of all, this man has a 1-year deal with a no trade clause. Like, who cares, brother? So, yeah, this whole Lakers lineup thing, I've been seeing a whole lot of who's stopping this starting five. Yeah, if you honestly do your homework and you actually watch the game instead of just watch the box score, you can clearly see that there's something that's going to be stopping this starting five. And DeAndre Ayton, as Buffy was saying, he sold really after the 2021 finals. He's been selling ever since. He shows signs of laziness, shows signs of not being a dog. It's plenty of clips where he's literally just watching his team struggle to get boards, even though he's the biggest person out there, and he's pointing at them as if it's their fault and they got to get the boards, even though that's what he's there for. And then, even though his numbers may look good from his time in Portland, it was plenty of times that he was showing the same things that he showed in Phoenix as well. And there's apparently reports about him not showing up to like team meetings and some practices as well. So, I'm pretty sure that's probably going to continue to carry on. I don't care if LeBron James is his teammate. That's still finna continue to carry on. So Lakers fans, you can quit with that. Oh, but he's playing with LeBron James now. So yeah, that's not changing either way, because this man, that's the type of egos that players get, especially after being like a highly rated pick, and you make a bunch of money. So that's the type of mentality that they're most likely going to keep. And the whole LeBron James playing with 9 first overall picks, like, bro, these LeBron fans, they gotta get this bias out their heart. They panties all in a bunch just because they see the graphics of it, and people are just pointing out the fact that he clearly has played with 9 first overall picks. Nobody's saying that he got carried by him or all that, brother. He just played with him. Like, deal with it. It's true. Crowned himself the GOAT after his performance in the coming back in 2016. He crowned himself the GOAT. So I don't know, but if I crown myself the GOAT, I'm packing my bags. I'm chilling with the fam, especially now that I'm a billionaire. I'd be chilling. My son in the NBA, my other son, he's off to college. Potentially finna go to the NBA as well. So I'm chilling, right? I would think so, but he clearly shows otherwise. Taking that $52 million contract. And, I've been seeing folks saying, oh, well, as good as he played last season, why would you take less? Ain't nobody saying this man got to take a vet minimum or something, but you got to cut something off the deal if you apparently want, to win a ring, because like Bardo said, the Lakers, they can't do much. Like, they can only do so much with the amount of money that they have, because it's being taken up by LeBron James, because they haven't signed Luka to a deal yet, have they? No. So majority of the money,
they can't sign Luka to an extension until August.
Yeah, so majority of the money is being taken up by LeBron. So they can't really do much with it. So getting DeAndre Ayton, signing Jake LaRavia, like that's the best they can do with it. And then we got freaking Austin Reeves, who was kind of choking in that Timberwolves series. Now he asking for he wants like max deal money. He want more than $90 million. Like, yeah, we was giving your flowers for looking really good as a third option, but brother, slowly roll now. Like, you still got a lot to show, because you was definitely getting exposed on defense now. So yeah, the Lakers, they got a lot going on, especially with the whole Jeannie Buss, the Buss family, selling majority ownership of the Lakers, even though she still is a part of it and making decisions. I don't know what that whole thing is about. So yeah, the Lakers, yeah, they kind of got a lot going on. But yeah, LeBron, he's not really going anywhere, because we already seen reports that teams, they're not finna trade for no 40-year-old. Like, I don't care if you're a first team All NBA player and you look like a top 3 player, bro. But you're 40 years old. Like, you can't. There's one thing you not beating, and that's father time. Like, you can play for however long, but your body, it will tell you when it is time to pack it up. Yeah, LeBron, he could probably play about five more seasons, but his body will tell him, dude, you're done. So yeah, LeBron, and plus they teams have said the only way they'll get LeBron is off of a buyout. So LeBron, I don't know. I don't even know where he would go, honestly, because the Cavs, they already said they don't want him, because who would, like I said, who want a 40-year-old? His wife said he won't. She wouldn't mind going back to Miami. So I don't know.
He'll go to
But
Dallas.
yeah, this whole LeBron thing is kind of hilarious. Yeah, I don't really see him leaving, honestly, because I doubt he wants to leave the city of LA. But I don't know. I don't even know if this would be like his farewell tour. This would be his last season, because I honestly think that he wants to wait till, you know, Bryce is in the NBA. I still think he wants to play with, you know, both of those sons. He will try
Bro,
and
Bryce
find a way
not
to
going to
follow.
the NBA, bro. Bryce not
Man, bro,
going, bro. He not good
hey,
I ain't
enough.
gonna lie, you
hey,
never
that
know, bro.
nepotism will get him in
You never
there. You
know.
know, that nepotism might
You
get
never
him up
know.
in there.
That's
So
why I ain't even counted
yeah,
out because you might never know.
but we shall see, man. This whole Bron situation, you know, it's clearly taking up, you know, slots in the media. It's really been talked about the most throughout this week, and it will continue to be talked about, of course. You know, anybody on the Lakers, especially LeBron James, their name will be brought up no matter the situation. You know, we've seen it before, so we will continue to hear more about this. But yeah, Bron, he'll be a Laker. The Lakers will continue to do what they've been doing before. They might look like, oh, they got championship hope, and then they'll probably fail in the first round, especially with how stacked the West is now. You know, it's growing even more. The Rockets, you know, Spurs, OKC. Uh, yeah. So it's the Lakers. They might as well. Y'all can have hope now, but don't be surprised when y'all end up in the same spot that y'all been before.